Hello everyone, welcome back with our recording today. Today is the 18th April 2026. As you know, we are living on the increase by technology and globalization. So the part of the AI has bring for a tremendous impact, at least right now. But there's no longer many people is actually make use of AI too much. As a result, it make them depend on the AI too much. So deve- the critical thinking has been developed on the way we are learning in the past. It's actually decreased in this screen plummetly. So if you notice this that point, you point out the flaws. You have to fix it out before it's too late. The flourish of AI is freaking incredible, right? We can deny that point, but the practices are there. We are we make ourselves and depend on the AI too much. So the progress we are learning is being more easier right now, right? But the illusions of the learning quickly is very dangerous. When we are think we are better, when we use AI, we can pay less cost than we those, and we continue to throw out all of that, but we gonna get the thing or understanding of it more deeply. Learning AI has never been easier than it is right now. Of the advance of AI, you can ask a question and get the answer instantly. If you don't understand something or get the different explanation of the words, the IELTS, the everythings, or even uh, the assignment or teachers giving for you to answer the questions, you can instantly get the foundation, the criteria answer they want to give for you. And even you want to need the examples to understand something more deeply, it could be great, but they are available. Everything's becomes pretty easy to understand. Smally. Deliver personal uh, application tool is is actually great when the level of that is given this thing personally understand everything uh, in the easiest way, and we want to understand on that way, they can give you the more understanding on your way, right? But you ever thinking about like, if you pause for this moment and ask yourself like, you're really learning or just pretending to learning more faster? This question is gonna be a bit uncomfortable, but it touches on the essence of the learning. Like, do you truly own it? Or are you trying to access things is going to be too needy? It's like hearing someone else trying to sell the product, and you feel this make your sense and is necessary without really thinking about it. The AI really assists our search quick, but it sometimes also makes us feel more lazy about learning hard to thinking. That's the problem. The critical thinking, the thinking about the problem and get deep on it, the approach is on the problem. There are times when we are very struggle and harbor research on a content or do research on ourselves, misunderstanding, making many mistakes, researching again and redoing again and again, even again we are matching up with our mistakes. But actually, it's have her remember longer and understanding more thoroughly in that process. We gradually develop our own logic for remembering and connect information to avoid the cost of researching and redoing. And perhaps we learn genuine because we want to avoid that cost. Even that scar is going to be get more values than, I mean that the value have the achievable, the beneficial of you can get from the cost you pay the more less cost you can get the instant information you don't pay that cost about the time about your energy about the physical and mental health. But with the thing you are keep doing on it without, I mean keep doing on it, understanding something more deeply, you can get the you can easily master something the yet diffuse easily. I mean it's not easy, it's fucking hard, but if you can take on that you can understand it more deeply, you can, even though you can get through on that. But actually, like I have to talk to you, like with AI, you can get the one person summarize and explain. Everything is quick, simple, and instantly. We lose a small form of punishment, and we lose the motivation to take things more seriously, to think a little more carefully. So that's the point. That's the point that we have to figure out at that point. We're driving by on our instincts, and we don't even notice why we are matching up with like that, and we don't think about it, just keeping and getting instant because on our instinct, our egos, we are basically laziness on ourselves. Is I mean that our ego is actually longer exists on our mind to being lazy and want to experience something more flourishers, make you feel happy and enjoy everything, right? We are born to experience, not to working, but we have to working the to get the money, and for the money you can throw out your experience. It's freaking solidification in our mind when we born and until on we on the primary school, secondary, and even we are come to university full of life. So when you are stop researching, stop thinking, we are stop thinking about we are like you are miss anything. We are no longer questions whenever anything is wrong. That's need attention or we should be avoided. We seem to stop the point of end of understanding. We don't want to deep on that and understand it more deeply because we just get an end of understanding, not tomorrow. Because this thing and you keep dead on it. You don't this is like you think like it's actually not necessary for you, so then you want to dig deeply. You just get the instant conclusion of that, the point of that. But converse of that, if you are matching up alone, not depend too much on AI, you can try to understand it, try to understand aspect of the many problem to understand the problem you want to get, and you are actually master the part of that instead of someone not just get the instant question, instant answer. The reason we start eating because we can't thinking is because we no longer feel that need to think. We need part is actually instantaneous. So what we gain from rapid learning with AI truly learning, or do we truly understand and can we handle this matter problem, or we just ever slightly different lives are unsure of what do and in the need of AI assistance. There are a huge gap between understanding and actually becoming based on we are learning. And feeling is make sense of, but then being able to apply of any that knowledge. At this point, we might not truly understand, but merge copy understanding in the way we else are arranged on the mind, and we actually not understand fully of that. We fail to see the slightly different version of problem, and we when we encounter with variation, we go back to ask and copy again. There are so many variation of the problem in this world. Most of you are learning now. I learning raw right now, and I can even copy and sort of everything of the point because you have many variants of the problem, the core problem you have to deal with. We need critical thinking. We need to understand the essence of the problem before we are matching it up. It's understandable. We no longer need to identify the role model on ourselves because AI did it for us. This could be said gradually. Learning becomes something like philosophical rather than something we can do on ourselves, right? But the problem isn't about AI. AI isn't inherent bad. It's like someone always ready to explain, showing us the right path to going forward. But perhaps unlike the true teacher, who will have a first suggestion and first as thinking and act on our own. AI tend to be more accommodatable, providing the solution alright working or learning with AI skills, leveraging AI memories, acting quickly, and performing quick research are perfectly logical and even high effective. But there are also the clear line to be drawn. Are we cooking with AI or are we completely betting on AI? You have the two perspective. The first thing, if we are working on the AI together, we are still the one thinking and doing work. AI only provides this part for us to going forwards more effectively. Yes, there have been no point to figure out, but we are dependent. We don't need to remember this like that. Understanding more deeply and our view anything on ourselves. And if one day no AI, will almost certainly no longer to be able to solve problem independently. We don't need to abandon AI. We need this one more steps to thinking. After understanding of the problem, shut down AI and do it yourself without looking. Write down on your word without looking again. And even you are write down, you don't understand at this point, you can look and get back. and drive on the stuff and writing back in on your thing you understanding your own. The line between knowing and mastering is very thinnable. So you have to point out the first, or you stuck in on the paradox box forever. The box of the addictive AI, addictive AI symptom. Yeah, it's gonna be great for call it like a symptom. Okay, so in conclusions, after in conclusion, the technique I wanted to mention right there is about defaming, defaming technique. Richard Feynman. I want to point out in this point, if you want to use AI, AIs you can make use of many way with the many technique or the famous celebrity. For example, the Richard Feynman, we can use the Feynman technique on AI. It's like you are reaching week done for the any subject they are giving for you. You write down in your way on, you understand into in your own, and write down. If you don't understand at that point, you're looking back again and write down your point, your understanding, not to use again with their words, not. I mean that you use the word like actually the 5 years old, I mean the 10 years old, even understand what you are writing, just like that. And the next technique, like Socratic, is very incredible effectively when you use on the learning mode of the AI, like ChatGPT, Gemini, and even the cloud. It's freaking good. Using for that, you can understand the sustainable of the problem. You ask the question. You ask the question. Y- you're you're basically automatically you are on your way to answer the question, and on the conclusion AI giving the answer for you, and you are notice on your point, and actually you can merge on combine between the Feynman technique and Socratic technique on that, like you are as done for that, and AI giving you the question with the answer, you got the answer on your way on down, because you have to use this very technique first, so it's actually easily to write down what you are when thinking about that. So thank you for watching, see you tomorrow. I mean that I also continue with payment technique to throughout sort of everything of that before recording with the Vietnamese translation to the Vietnamese language for your understanding. Okay, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.